Hello, students. Today we will study the lesson The Night I Met Einstein from third unit by Jerome Wigman. Jerome Wigman, he was an American playwright and novelist. In 1960, he won the Pulitzer Prize for his work, A Musical Drama. Pulitzer Prize is always given for outstanding literary or journalistic achievement. In 1960, he won the Pulitzer Prize for his work, a musical drama titled Fiorello. He collaborated with George Abbott, Jerry Boyk, and Sheldon Henrik for its music and lyrics. His book, I Can Get It For You Wholesale, has also been used for a movie of the same name. So, this is a beautiful story. Once the writer was invited to dine at the house of a powerful businessman, and after the dinner, there was a concert, and a pianist was invited to perform. The writer was disappointed about the concert as he was feeling very bored because he had least interest in classical music. Writer did not understand anything about classical music, so Albert Einstein he took genuine interest in the author in making him experience the facts and truths about music. Let's study the lesson. Let's read the lesson The Night I Met Einstein. When I was a very young man, I was invited to dine. Dine means to have dinner at the house of a philanthropist. Philanthropist means someone who gives money to help people who are poor or sick. After a wonderful dinner, our hostess took us to a large drawing room. Chairs were being arranged. I am arranging the chairs for a concert. My hostess said, we are going to listen to a very good pianist. What was the atmosphere? The atmosphere was of a concert. Chairs were being arranged for the concert. And who was invited? A pianist was invited. Though everyone else was very happy, I was not. Why? Because writer was not at all interested in classical music. I did not understand classical music. I thought I was tone deaf. Tone deaf means unable to hear the difference between high and low notes of music. I sat down so that I would not be impolite and waited for the concert to begin. I did not pay attention to the music after it began. After a while, I heard everyone clapping, so I realized that the piece was over. Just then, I heard a gentle but firm voice saying, you are fond of Bach? Bach means Johann Sebastian Bach, a German organist. Organ, a person who plays mouth organ, it is an instrument and composer of the 17th century. Now, what happened? The concert was over, everyone was clapping, but still, writer did not understand that the concert was over. When he saw that everyone was clapping, he also started clapping. Why? Because he was least interested in classical music. And after that, he heard a voice that you're fond of Ba? I knew as much about Ba as I did about nuclear physics. That he didn't know anything about Ba. I was going to say something ordinary so that I could get out of the situation. I turned in order to look at my neighbor and I saw a very famous face. It was someone with a shock of white hair and pipe. I knew that I must tell this man the truth. He looked at me as if my answer was very important. I do not know anything about Bach, I said. I have never heard any of his music. He looked surprised. He said that no, I have I haven't seen Bach, I haven't heard about Bach. And he was very surprised. Einstein was very surprised. You have never heard of Bach? He asked. He made it sound as if I had said that I had never taken a bath. That means if someone asks you a question that do you know Lata Mangeshkar, who she is? And if your answer is no, then it's a very weird thing. It's a very unusual thing. Like you don't know such a famous personality. So same happened with the author. He made it sound as if I had said that I had never taken a bath. I would like to understand music so that I could understand Ba. I said, but I am not able to. I am deaf. He said that no, I am not able to understand music because I am tone deaf. I don't understand the difference between high and low notes. The old man got up. You will come up with me? He asked. I just remained seated. I'm requesting you to come with me, he said again. So I went up with him. He took me to a room which had a gramophone in it and asked, what kind of music do you like? Well, I answered, I like songs that have words and the kind of music where I can follow the tune. He said that I like such songs that have words. I don't like classical music. He smiled and nodded, obviously pleased. You can give me an example, perhaps? I told him I like anything by Bing Crosby. Again, Bing Crosby, American singer. At once, I could hear Bing Crosby's voice filling the room. Now, can you please tell me what you just heard? He said. The simplest answer seemed to be sing the lines. So I sang it back to him. He smiled. You're not tone deaf, he said. Because the writer heard the song and again he sang those lines back. So Einstein came to a conclusion that the writer was not at all tone deaf. I told him this was one of my favorite songs, something I had heard hundreds of times, so it didn't really prove anything. Nonsense, said Einstein. It proves everything. Do you remember your first arithmetic lesson in school? Suppose at your very first contact with numbers, your teacher had ordered you to work out a problem in, say, long division or fractions. Could you have done it? No, not at all. If you have not taught anything in the school, if you are not aware about numbers, then can you be able to solve any question of mathematics? No, of course not. Exactly, it's like learning maths. You have to learn addition and subtraction in order to do multiplication and division. Now I am playing something a little more advanced. It was John McCormack singing the trumpeter. Sing that back, he ordered again. We went on from level to higher level until he was playing just music without words. I was amazed that this great man was paying complete attention to me so that I could learn something new. It was as if I was the most important person in this world. Suddenly he got up and turned off the gramophone. Means what happened? The narrator self consciously admitted that he had never heard Ba before and that he was tone deaf. So, hearing this, Einstein took it upon himself to educate the author about music. He took him to a room with a gramophone and patiently exposed him to different levels of music. He compared learning music to learning arithmetic, which the author had learned in school, to show how a gradual study of a subject was necessary to understand its complex concepts. So we went down and sat in the hall. Just allow it yourself to listen it. Now, young man, he said, we are ready to listen to Ba. I have heard that piece many times since that day, but I am never alone. I am sitting beside a small man with a shock of untidy hair and pipe in his mouth. Ended. He has eyes that are unusually warm when the concert ended. I too was able to clap sincerely. Our hostess came towards us. We both stood up. I am so sorry, Dr. Einstein, she said, giving me a cold look that you missed so much. I am sorry too, he said. My young friend here and I, however, were engaged in the greatest activity of which a human being is capable. She looked puzzled. Really? She said. And what is that? Einstein smiled and put his arm across my shoulders, opening up the frontiers of beauty. Means what? It was Einstein's genuine attempt to educate author about learning music. So Einstein's genuine attempt which opens the door of interest for beauty of the music, which explains the writer to work around with his eyes and ears open. Also, it tells us about Einstein's patience and involvement in ensuring that a goal is achieved. It throws light on Einstein's passion for knowledge and his eagerness to imparting it to others. So, in this way, the author had least interest in music, and in this way, Einstein proved author can understand music and he can learn music. Okay, students, here we have completed the lesson. Thank you very much.